Alrighty guys, what's up? This is Doug Lynch with Kerr Dental. So a little bit about me, I'm a full line rep. I cover restoratives, infection control, endo, and rotary. But what I'm going to be going over today is our endo system. So if you're watching this, this is our ZenFlex Simplified protocol. So when we talk about endodontics or the endodontic procedure, there's a few major areas that we have to kind of discuss, where, the way I remember it is DAGSIO, DAGSIO. So diagnosing, accessing, glide path, shaping, irrigation, and obturation. So today, what I'm going to walk you through is some of the protocols, procedures, and equipment and products that we have to kind of get you through that whole DAGSIO process. So first and foremost, we have diagnosing. So we don't really have anything for diagnosing. Next, we have access. So accessing the pulp chamber, you're typically going to use, a number 2 or a number 4 round to kind of drop into the pulp chamber. And then you'll maybe use like a 557 or an LA Access diamond burr with a parabolic tip, safe-ended, just to kind of cut out a little box or opening to get straight line access to do the root canal. Next, after you've accessed, you're going to do your glide path. So this is kind of where everything starts to come into play. So right over here, I'm going to show you this first orifice opener file. So this is our Traverse orifice opener. It's a 2508 17 millimeter file. If you can see that there. So once we have opened and accessed the canals, we want to open up the canals and flare them a little bit with this orifice opener. So this is a 2508 17 millimeter, just kind of designed to open up that coronal third, coronal to middle third, just to get everything ready to start, making your glide path. So after you've used this orifice opener to open up your orifices, then you will use these hand files here. So you will use 8, 10, maybe even 15 or 20 to establish your working length. And you will use an apex locator. We have the apex ID, which is calibrated off the front end. So when it reads 0, 0, you are 0.5 millimeter away from the apex. So just nice to have that already pre-calibrated. Great apex locator. So, after you have established your working length, let's say it's 21 millimeters, then you're going to need to start doing your glide path. So next you'll move into your 1306 or 1806 glide path file, depending on, if the canal is super tight or super large, but typically I recommend going with this 1306 Traverse glide path file. It looks like this right here, and I'll walk you through all these steps here in just a moment live. So after you've created that glide path file, which is essentially just kind of creating a tunnel, a small tunnel or a pilot hole all the way down to the terminus, then you're going to go into your shaping file. And trust me when I say creating a glide path is going to give you a much smoother experience over other competitors' protocols that just require one endo file. So usually my offices will end on a 2506 in a typical case scenario. Sometimes you might have to go a little bit bigger, so we have these other files right here. But this ZenFlex 2506 is a shaping file, and so you can start to shape that canal, and typically you'll be done there on that third file. If you need to shape up though, you have a 3506 and a 5004, just to kind of continue shaping if maybe you have a large palatal canal, or if you have a larger anterior tooth for a younger patient, you might need to go a little bit bigger. So for my purposes here, this is how I sponge up the sponge. So it has everything here all in a row, ready to go, no matter what may be needed. So now what I'm going to do is show you guys a couple cool things about the ZenFlex file, and then I'll show you how to actually use it on our motor, and then we'll go into everything else. So one of the cool things about the ZenFlex file is it is a controlled memory file. So when I say controlled memory, I mean that it holds its shape. So I'm going to zoom in a little bit here for us so we can see what I'm talking about here. So ZenFlex will actually hold its shape when it is bent. So it's actually holding its shape right now, and that's what you see controlled memory. Another cool thing is you can see that there, how it's holding its shape. If you introduce heat, it'll actually straighten out to its original shape, which is just kind of fun to show. So that is what controlled memory is. It's just a special way that they do the heat treatment of the actual nickel titanium that allows it to be much more flexible while also being very strong and very, very sharp. So great endo file. It's only, it has a max flute diameter of 1 millimeter. So it's minimally invasive, and it's going to be just a great file to have for your office. So now I'm going to walk you through how to use the motor. So as you can see right now, let's see if we can scooch over to the motor here. Scooch that over. There we go. So what you can see here is you have all these different settings on our Elements eMotion motor. And so what I'm going to click first is our Cur Traverse setting. And then there's a few settings here on the right, and you want to choose the 2508. And so it's going to populate the correct torque and RPMs for our Traverse Orifice Opener file. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take out my Traverse Orifice Opener file right here, 2508 17 millimeter. Pop that into the chuck there. And then what I'll start to do is begin my shaping. So I'll give me a foot pedal here. And what you can see, if I don't stab myself, is right here. I'm going to start to shape the file, or shape the canal. So I'm coming in. Let's see if I can get that here. And it's starting to just open that orifice for us. There we go. And we're just opening the orifice. Really nice feature too is if you go in a little too hard or fast, it'll do an auto reverse. So it just kicked me out there. There's this little bar if you're looking on the motor, and it's going up and down. You see that blue bar? So that's just letting you know how much stress is on the file. So that is our orifice opener. So that just opened up that orifice for this file here, or for this root canal. Next, what we're gonna do is we will take our hand files, we'll establish our working length, okay? After we've established our working length, we'll go into our glide path file. So now, we'll put our glide path file into the chuck here. There we go. And what we're gonna do is we're going to leave our orifice opener setting. We're gonna go out and we're gonna go to the TF adaptive setting. So the TF adaptive setting is our patented reciprocation movement, where the file will actually stay in pure rotary until it feels a stress load on the file that's too great, and then it will start to reciprocate. So as you can see, we're on the TF adaptive setting currently. And if I step on the foot pedal, it's going to start spinning, but there is no reciprocation. So that can kind of trip some people out sometimes. The reciprocation does not start until it feels that stress load on the file, okay? So now I'm gonna take our little root canal here that we shaped a little bit earlier, and I'm going to start creating my glide path. So now I'm going to come in here, see if I can hold it in a way you can see. I'm going to start shaping my glide path file. And what you'll see in here is that reciprocation is starting to begin. So now you can kind of see what that looks like. Then, after we've created our glide path file, we will then go into our most likely last file, which is our shaping file. This is a 2506 ZenFlex file, and it should finish off the job for you. So now, what we will do, and another cool thing is we have our ENDO ring, which I can give to the office, no problem. But it allows you to measure out your file and get the proper length. I'm just kind of willy-nillying right now, if you will. But you can really get it exact with this handy dandy Cybron ENDO ring. So really nice to have. And then between for each file, I'm going to be using something called slick gel. That's just to help lubricate the file. It has EDTA in it. It's similar to an RC prep. It just has everything in there that starts to kind of break down the hard tissue. So that is our slick gel, and you can put that directly into this little gel well here, and so you can continue to kind of dip the file in and all that fun stuff. So perfect. So now we have done our orifice opener step, we have done our glide path, and now we will go and shape it the rest of the way. So now we're going to take our 2506 file and start to shape that canal. So we're just going 1 to 2 millimeters at a time. And we're just shaping that file until we get all the way to our working length, which we just did. So now you are done. So you've done those 3 files and you have shaped that canal beautifully. So after you have done your diagnosing, accessing, glide path, and shaping, now what you're going to need to do is irrigation. So our recommendations for irrigation are doing 3 steps. So you're going to want to do a sodium hypochlorite rinse, full strength. And then after that, you're going to put EDTA in there. And then again, you're going to do another wash with sodium hypochlorite, full strength. So you get those 3 irrigation steps. And of course, between each file, I didn't mention this earlier, but between each file, you're also going to be doing the irrigation recapitulation and irrigation steps. So between each of these files, so you don't get blocked out or, pack any debris apically, or just create a blockage for yourself. But yeah, so now, after you have irrigated this file or this root canal, then it is time to finish up and obturate. So this is our obturation unit here. This is the Elements IC. Make sure you guys can see that. Perfect. So we have our down pack and our backfill. So super important here is to have matching gutta percha. So ZenFlex has a matching gutta percha cone. So when you open it up, you're gonna have all the different sizes. So you have 2006, 25, all the way through 4506. And this is an assorted pack. So if you needed to get a higher size, you could, because ZenFlex goes all the way up to 55 size files, and it goes in 06 and 04 tapers. But for this scenario, since we shaped to a 2506, we would just need to grab out our 2506 gutta percha cone. And the really nice part to this, and I just love what they did with it, is as you can see here, there are little marker indicators on the gutta percha cone that actually tell you like how far away you are in millimeters from the tip. So you can see it's got 24, 22, 20, 19, 18, and 16. So you can see right here, it has all of those little scores. It's harder to see there, but it has all of the little scores on it. So you can take your cotton pliers and grab that right at the perfect size, perfect length that you will need to put into the canal. So we shaped to a 2506, and it should match perfectly to the 2506. So I'll just put that in there for us. Here we go. So should match up perfectly. It's harder to see because there's debris in there that I was not able to irrigate out, but nonetheless, it's going to be a perfect fit. So after you have shaped, you irrigate, you dry it with paper points, you're going to get your master cone and fit that in there just like so. And you want to ensure good tug back. So I have some pre-ready made ones. You want to ensure good tug back. So I'm holding this right now and it's not falling out. Just so when you do the down pack step, you don't pull the whole gutta percha cone out. You want to create an apical plug here at the bottom. And I'm going to now show you those steps. So we have our down pack unit here. And so I'm going to go ahead and turn that on. And it already has a couple settings. You can go through the different modes. So you have custom and gutta percha mode. If you're using a bioceramic sealer, you're going to want to be a little less hot. I think bioceramics require that you're a little under 200 degrees Celsius. I believe it's somewhere in the 180s to 190s. So I would research that with your bioceramic sealer if you use that. But again, you can change that here with the mode button. So next, what you're going to do is you're going to sear off for access. So you just cut that off there. And really cool feature with this unit. So you'll touch it, it's instantly 200 degrees Celsius. But then when I touch the heat plugger, it's not going to burn the patient. It's not burning my finger. And then another cool aspect to it is if I hold this for 4 seconds, 1, 2, 3, and 4, it actually has a safety feature. So this blue light is still on, but I can still touch that and it's not going to burn the patient. So just nice to know, so you're not going to burn the surrounding PDL. So after we've done all of those steps, what we're going to do is we need to pre-fit this plugger about 5 to 7 millimeters away from the apex, okay? So once we've done that, we do that because we're trying to create an apical plug. Then we have 4 seconds to shoot down and get to that predetermined length to create the plug. And when we do that, it's going to shoot all the sealer that we coated that master cone in, and it's going to shoot that sealer all through the lateral and accessory canals, okay? So now I'm going to down pack. Here we go. And then you'll wait for about 5 to 10 seconds. It'll make a double click at 10 seconds. Then what we're going to do is do a separation burst. So it's going to be 1 second of heat, 1 second cool, twist, and out. So now we're going to do 1 second heat, 1 second cool, twist, and out. And it's going to pull off all that gutta percha right there. So you see that gutta percha. Let's see if I can see. There we go. So we created that apical plug. And then what we're going to do is take our Buchanan hand plugger. So it's got a NiTi side that's a little more flexible, and then a stainless steel side that's not as flexible. So we're going to now condense right here this plug that we created. So we're condensing the plug that we created down at the apex. This is warm vertical condensation, folks. It's the best way to do a root canal. So now we've got that beautiful plug. And if you're gonna do a post here, you would be done. But if you want to fill it up with gutta percha, next you're going to use this backfill unit here. So we zoom this out. So now I'm gonna turn this on. It's gonna start to blink blue. So we're starting to heat up, okay? So it has a little tip in there. It's a gutta percha cartridge. And there's a lever arm inside of here that's gonna move up and down and push that gutta percha out. So no mess, no hassle, very easy to use. The tip is extremely bendable, as you can see. You can spin that thing in a circle and it won't break. Let me see if I can zoom in for us. So you see that there, very flexible. So you'll pre-bend that tip. And so while it's heating, there we go. Now with the solid blue light, that means that we are hot. We're ready to go. It also has an indicator right here showing you how much gutta percha is left. It counts down 4, 3, 2, and 1 so that you know exactly how many canals you can fill. So what we're gonna do is prime the needle. So we're gonna hold this until we start to see some gutta percha come out. So now you can kind of see some gutta percha starting to extrude. Perfect. Then what we're gonna do is we're gonna come into, let's see if we can see it. There we go. We're gonna come into this canal that we already created the plug with. We're gonna just hold that there for about 5 to 10 seconds. The tip is hot, so it's going to begin to kind of melt that middle third of the canal. Then we're gonna hold the heat ring. And as we hold the heat ring, it's going to start to backfill us out of the canal. There we go. So now we have backfilled out of the canal, and I'm going to take this stainless steel side. You can see that we've got gutta percha at the orifice. And I'm gonna start to pack that gutta percha down just to condense it even more. And we have a nice, beautiful 3D filled root canal. It's gorgeous, it's beautiful, it's a thing of beauty. So that is essentially all of the steps for how to do warm vertical condensation for your obturation technique. So that is our entire endo protocol. And if you guys have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me. We also always have great promos going on where we can trade you out of your current system if you haven't done that already. All you have to do is buy a motor and an Elements IC, and then we will facilitate a trade out with your office to trade you out of any competitor products, and whether that's Dentsply's Wave 1, Brasseler, Comet, wherever you have your current endo system, will help you make a clean break over to Kerr and make it really, really simple. Hope that made sense. Hope you guys enjoyed that. Super excited to work with your office. Please feel free to reach out. Thank you so much. Bye.